Hey, Kowalsky here. Welcome back to another video. Now in this video I want to cover some games that I played at a festival that was organized by the club that I'm playing for. Now the thing is, right, this is like an unofficial event, but still the quality of games was pretty okay for rapid games. Now the thing is, some pretty strong players were brought to this tournament, actually stronger than me technically speaking, but there were also some players that were weaker, much weaker than I am, but we all had to play because, you know, some of them are beginners, some of them are advanced level, and therefore you know, we're gonna have a video where we're gonna cover the, you know, the more important games, the games that I played against the stronger opponents. And the thing is, these games were actually interesting. So it is rapid chess. The time control is 30 plus 30 minutes and 10 seconds increment after every move. And in the first round I'm playing with the white pieces against an opponent that like, she's a woman candidate master, 1653 FIDE. Like, she actually, you know, she got her title, she won national competitions, and you know, she was actually at some point the 23rd in the world, I think, in the under 14 section. So you know, that's my opponent in the first round, and you know, a little bit of background, like you know, she actually came from another tournament, so she's gonna be a little bit tired, and she didn't actually have all that you know, all that much passion left. Like, she didn't really give it everything for these games, but still, I mean, a very strong opponent nonetheless, and I wanted to surprise her this game. And you know, I usually don't play e4, but against such an opponent I have a very great opportunity to try out a Sicilian defense, because she plays the Sicilian and she plays the Najdorf. And if you've ever watched some of my videos, you know that I am prepared a little bit in the Najdorf with some more unusual lines that go a4. So the thing is, a4 is not a usual move. It's a sideline that I really like, preventing b5. And you know, the thing is, I really wanted to try to play this line, and since this is not an official tournament, it's just, you know, a club tournament, I do not lose rating points, and you know, therefore I can try some new ideas. So e5, knight f3, this is all theory, and here she plays the move bishop g4, which I didn't actually have all that well prepared. Now the thing is, the line goes h3, and if bishop h5 is tried, here you can actually go bishop g5 like I did in the game, but you can also go for a more aggressive approach like g4, and now play the move bishop g5, right, pinning the knight so that you don't lose the pawn. And here, after a move like bishop e7, you just you can just either take, or go knight h4, or go h4, or bishop c4. Here you have many more options, and this is what I'm gonna play from now on. But during the game, I pretty much I forgot about this whole idea of h3 and then g4, and so I decided to play bishop g5 right away. Now this is still fine. Now bishop f6 allows me to go for almost the same position, but I went bishop c4, and now again h3 or bishop f6 allow me to go for the same position, but here I make a huge mistake. Since this is a rapid game, my brain malfunctioned, and I just played the castles. And now after knight d4, now it's just a draw here, basically, because you know, I'm gonna take, right, and then like after takes, I'm just gonna go for a move like bishop e2, and after, like, you know, I don't know, if for example takes and I go queen takes, and I'm actually a little bit better after castles, because you know, knight d5, and I have much more active positions, although she has the bishop pair, and this bishop is gonna be lost. And you know, if she doesn't take, like if she goes for a move like bishop back to e6, now I mean, I can just untangle, and I'm fine in this position. Like, we can have a position like this, opposite color bishops. This is a draw. So instead of that, obviously I do not go for the simple one. I go for queen d3, and now this allows her to attack my rook. And now I move the rook, obviously, and now knight h5. Now the thing is, here I played the move f4, which is a big mistake. I should have went back bishop e3 or bishop c1. Why? Well, I was a little bit scared about this move. But what I missed, or what I misvaluated, is that I can just take, and there's no problem. Because, like, for example, if we trade, right, and then, like, for example, a move like knight f4 happens, she actually doesn't have any attack. Because here I can just go bishop back to f1, and like there are no checks, everything is covered, and you know I'm just up a pawn, and my rooks are very active. So she couldn't have gone for that. But you know, in a rapid game, I just completely misevaluated everything. Also, rook c8 was a possibility. But anyway, I played the move f4 here, and now I allowed her to take the pawn. Obviously, you don't want to take. This is just, I mean, this is mate now. Or I sack my queen, which obviously I didn't do. I took the bishop, and now I'm in a much more inferior position. Castle is obviously not blundering mate, and here I went knight e5. Now apparently g6 kicking my queen out would have been the most precise move, but here she went rook c8, which is good enough. Bishop back to b3, and now the thing is, this move allows knight e2, and I calculated that, okay, knight e2, well, I might go king h1, and then if knight d4, I'm gonna sack the rook. So that was my plan. I was like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and you know, I'm just gonna have an attack, and then maybe I'm gonna get something. Who knows? I mean, I'm just gonna attack, and that's it. I'm just gonna go f4, guard against this, just f4, e5, attack. But she didn't do that. She didn't go for this line. She took the knight, and again, she has a better position, right? Like, she has great queenside pressure, and actually here I was worried about this move. But now apparently just h3 is good enough, because after this move I just go queen g4, and now if we trade then it's fine. So I was a little bit scared of this move, but now I attacked the pawn, she defended, I went back, and here she actually went for this idea, but now I have the queen, so I forced the trade, I go back, I attack the pawn, and this is an opposite color bishop endgame, it's a draw. I decided to go for this simplification here because I thought it's just the simplest way. I mean, okay, for example, h5, just for example, bishop c4, going back to d5. I thought this was just the simplest way to make a draw, and it is. So therefore, she decides to go rook b6, not to allow me to make a draw so easily. And here, you know, I want to mention that this was a rapid game, and I mean, I couldn't write during the game, so we had to remember all the moves afterwards. And here's the moment where our brains, both of our brains, just went a little bit blank, because we remembered the position, but we didn't remember exactly the move order. And I think that when writing the game, we actually skipped the move. Now this position actually happened, and I actually played f4 in this position, which is bad. But here apparently I had rook c3, but then again, I don't know if this is like the actual position, like that was played. So f4 here, definitely a mistake here, because he takes f4. I cannot take because he has check and then takes. But actually the computer says that it's fine, because I can take this pawn. But I just didn't like this position because of, okay, g6 check, but apparently king g4, and now I'm actually better. I mean, it's not so easy to play. Rook f8, defending the pawn. Okay, maybe I had some great pressure, but I didn't like this position very much, and now my time is ticking lower and lower. So I went h4 after he took the pawn. Now she took the pawn, sorry. And the thing is, now it's just much worse. I thought about king f5, but then, you know, I was worried about the rook g8, g6 ideas. So I went bishop back to c4, and now again, we know that this position happened, but we didn't know how we got there. So in the end, bear with me, we got this position. And here rook g2, g5, and something like this. The important thing is we actually got to this position. Like, this position was on the board, and now I'm just completely lost. Like, because okay, it's opposite color bishops, but like my bishop is trash. And here apparently the move g4 wins pretty much on the spot, because now after f6 you just have some checks here that you can just give the check, and then, right, trade, and then be better. But here in this position she went f5, and now all of a sudden I have something, right? I have something. I don't have much, but I have something. I simplify into an endgame where it's just opposite color bishops, but this is losing because here she has just an awesome move f3, and I cannot take the bishop because she takes the bishop, and then when I take, she's just up a pawn, and I cannot take the pawn because it's the same position. So I go bishop h3, and obviously you have to defend also against the promotion. And now she just goes bishop c5, and I take the pawn, she goes king e5, and now I'm lost. Because if I play a move like this, he just enters my position. Sorry, she just enters my position, because look at this. I mean, now I'm losing, right? Because look at that. By the time that I go grab the pawn, it's already over, because I mean here, I mean she can simply do this, and I cannot stop the pawn. Like, okay, my pawn gets to h7, but now just bishop d4. Or you can say, oh well, I can also do this. Yeah, but the thing is, if we compare like the positions, like she has an extra pawn like that she can just march down, and now I'm just losing because right, just look at this. I mean, she makes a queen, and now right, it's just mate. So it doesn't work. So we have king g4, but here she makes a mistake, right? She takes the pawn, and actually that's not a mistake, but the mistake comes now. The thing is, here if she went king e5, I would have been stuck, because you see, king e5, I cannot take the pawn because g4 check, and the bishop is lost. So here she had to realize that being patient for one move, just going king e5, shouldering my king away, for example bishop g4, now just king f4, right? Like, okay, I go away with the bishop, now g4, now again I cannot, I mean I can take, but now just g3, for example, I have to come back, but now just king f3, and now I'm lost, right? Because okay, let's say I go here to avoid checks, but now just g2, and now I'm lost. So here she had to realize that, but she played g4 right away, sacking the pawn, and now she allowed me to make a draw. Here again, king e5, just shouldering me away, could have been played. Now the pawn is defended, and this pawn is gonna march forward, and the thing is, my king is too far away. But you know, in a moment of perhaps maybe time trouble, she actually played some inaccurate moves, and at the end of the day we got to this position, and which we agreed to a draw. I mean, we played like a repetition of moves, but okay, it's a draw. So that was like the first game. Was a very nice game from a theoretical standpoint. Like, I really got to try out my line, and then I completely forgot about this, but I'm just gonna keep this in mind, and it was just a nice game. So in the second game, I'm playing against the top seed actually, right? 1725 FIDE, that is, and I just spoiled how it ends. No worries. But the thing is, now this game ended in a draw. Okay, but it was not really boring. And I know my opponent hates the caro-kann, and you know, I know that I want to play the caro-kann, so let's play the caro-kann. And I knew he played this variation, because obviously we played blitz a lot of times at the club, so I knew what he was going for. And here I decided to surprise him with the move queen a6. This is actually pretty much theory. And here, you know, I knew some theoretical variations, and I knew a position that I wanted to get. Here after g4, the thing is knight h4, and I'm fine, right? The computer will always say that white is slightly better, but the thing is, with black, you have to have a plan. Like, a plan is more important than the evaluation itself. So here I played the move f5. That's really like the most critical position. I kind of skipped through this because it's almost theory. Like, there were some moves that I could have tried to play different, but I decided to go for this. Now the thing is, the move f5, why f5 and not f6? Thing is, if I go f6, now this is, I think, too slow, and the computer agrees pretty much, because I give him time to play knight d2, knight f3, and my bishop is not good. But with the move f5 now, if he takes f6, obviously I can go g takes f6, and now or bishop takes f6. I think this is better. Yeah, bishop takes f6 to get my bishop out. That's, I mean, I intended to play either one of those, and then try to play some like h5. That was my plan. Like h5. Okay, here the computer says king h1, and now after h5, the computer move apparently g5 wins the game for white, because you're gonna trap my bishop somehow. Or not necessarily trap my bishop, but just my bishop is simply offside, and you have a passed pawn here on the g file. So, but I played f5 and he took here, and now actually my position is okay. Bishop f2, and I go back bishop e7. I don't really want to trade for this bishop, because I mean my bishop is just superior at the moment. So he went h4, stopping g5, so he stopped g5, right? So I said, okay, I cannot go g5, let's reroute the knight. Again, keep in mind this is rapid, and here I had a plan in mind, like if he would have gotten taken here, he would have went for knight c5. Now I would have had this position where his bishop had to go to e3, and now I would have had this move g5. Okay, h takes g6, but now the king is a little bit naked. This is a draw still. This is a draw, but you know, it's not pleasant for white with this passed pawn here. And so he didn't go for that. That's like a positional thing to remember. He went back with the knight. I got my knight in the prime position, and now just bishop g3 defending the pawn. So now you have to play g5, and if you don't take the pawn here, like let's say you take on g5, now you're lost, right? Just f4. And okay, if you want to take, okay, the knight just take, right? Take. Bishop g5, rook f2, and here just bishop d3, for example. That wins. So he took the pawn on g6, and here I went rook h8, and here, you know, king f2 takes, rook h1 here, and here's I have this c5 idea, remember that. Here's a pretty interesting thing about the game. He actually had to go to the bathroom, but since it was like he actually had to go, like for real, and because it was a rapid game, like he didn't have enough time, right? Because he was down to about 10 minutes at this point. So you know, I talked with him, and I was like, well, we can pause the clock, obviously, because it's not like it's. You know, we try to make it as official as it is, like not to speak or interrupt or anything, but you know, we paused the clock, we went to the bathroom. I actually got up from the board so that I'm not seeing the board, so that it's fair. And right, so he went to the bathroom. I sat on the hole, and you know, I just waited for him. We went back to the board, and after we went back to the board, obviously I calculated in my mind, which was stupid, and when we got to the board, I pretty much instantly played the move h5, which is not the right move. Now if I thought a little bit longer, I could have played the move c5, and the thing is, c5, really, if you go knight f3, takes, these pawns are gonna be pretty much pretty big liability. And the thing is, after the move like king d7 here, if you're not careful, like let's say rook h5, I can just take the pawn, and it's still a draw. It's still a draw here after the move king e2 or king f3. But let's say king e2, right? You take the bishop, and you go rook d1. Now we trade the bishops, and this is a draw because this pawn is gonna be lost, and these pawns are gonna be lost, and then we're gonna have like 2-1-2 basically, but like 2-0 and 2-0. So this could have been tried, but instead I got back and I played h5. I was like, I calculated, hey, h5 it works, and if knight f3 I can go h4. h4 doesn't work, surprise, and I found that at the board. That was pretty bad, because now bishop takes h4, and this doesn't work. Like this simply doesn't work. Like let's say I take here with check again. I'm just gonna be down a pawn, and now I'm losing. Like I'm actually losing here. Okay, I can try maybe going after the pawns, but in the end, okay, maybe that move's not the right move. But here, a move like knight g3 maybe. Okay, to stop the check. And now after the knight goes here, now you trap the knight, and now it's all over. So right, analyzing also on the go, I played the move rook g4, and then after I played the move this. After I played this move, I realized, okay, I'm lost. I'm lost. I should have played rook h6, and that's it. Like I actually thought that during the game. But the thing is, now this move is losing because rook takes on h5, and I'm just lost. I mean, that's it. there's not a continuation. Like if I try to take this, now I'm just losing because the rook is defended, And if I try to play a move like c5, now again he just takes the pawn, and the same variation doesn't work anymore because he has rook c1 in the end. And even though I take the bishop, he takes the bishop, and I mean, he's up too much material. But he didn't play that. He played bishop h2 because he also calculated something at the bottom, and you know, we just played some crazy stuff. And here I went h4, and now I'm winning. Like, now I'm winning. And here he went f5, and now again I'm winning, but only with the move rook f8. But with so little time on the clock, I couldn't figure this move out. I thought about it, but then I got scared a little bit, because think about it, his knight can move. Oh, not there, because the bishop defends. But like, let's say his knight can move. But the thing is, I'm still winning. Like, let's say king e2, I'm still winning. g3, I'm still winning. Right, knight f4 check. So I'm coming in. Also, if you take the knight, I take your knight, and I mean now it's clear that you're losing. But you know, I'm just saying, right? You have a lot of moves, bishop g5, for example. But in the game, I didn't see that. I went for g3 check, which is a draw here. Because after knight f4 and f6, yes, you could play bishop f8, but here I decided to get scared of knight takes h4. And after this, well, basically what I started to get scared of was like, what if hypothetically, let's say these pawns actually make it down the board? So, you know, it's not gonna be fun. So therefore, no, the computer obviously says, oh, you're winning, just exchange. But then again, I didn't really feel confident with like less than 5 minutes on the clock to play this position. These pawns are kind of scary, and we calculated after the game some variations, and you know, without the computer, it actually seemed like white was winning. But I decided to take, and now it's a draw. Here we repeated once, and like, okay, here apparently here king e3 was winning, and I saw king e3, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose, I'm just gonna go check or something. But he went back, he wanted a draw, and here apparently bishop takes on g3, because after rook h7 you're like winning, because I cannot promote and I cannot do anything. And for example, like if I go back with the knight, now f7, this, and then now a move like knight e5, and now you can move the rook, and that's gonna be the winning sequence. For example, king d8, just king f1, stopping the pawn, and I cannot get close because of the check, and that's it, I'm lost. I mean, knight f6, I can try that, but rook g7, this is it, that's it. Okay, knight h5, that's stupid, rook g5, okay. Knight back to f6, now he takes the pawn or something, or you know, he's just winning. So but instead he went for rook g1, and now he allows me to go rook f8, and this is now a draw, and we agreed to a draw. That's the position that you saw at the end. So you know, those were some pretty intense rounds. Now coming to the last round, again, spoiled a little bit the ending, but not too much. I forgot to reset the games. I'm sorry. This is like the third round. This is like the last round that I'm playing against like a strong opponent. Like she's also like about my level. That's my level, right? So around 1500, and I'm playing with the white pieces, and I open up with d4 because I didn't want to go into c4 because I knew she was playing c5, and I didn't want to go into that. So I went for this, and she actually went for c5, and here, you know, when I went for c4, and I was like, I don't care if you take, I can still play something. But she didn't take, so now we have a very, very mainline Catalan position. Great. Knight c3, I have a lot of experience. Here I decided to go bishop g5 because if you remember, I had a game in the video called The Clutch or Bust, about the last tournament, that was official tournament, and it's the last two rounds. You can watch it. I'm gonna leave a card here somewhere, and also in the description. And that game, the move like c4 was played, and we had the position like this. So I wanted to go into that, but here she took, and now here I have a very immense chance to take the bishop. But I decided to play e3 because you know, I just didn't feel confident enough to play e4 because I thought it was stupid, because just like, okay, knight takes d4 and the queen takes d4, and now just d takes e4, and you can take bishop f6, queen e4 with an attack, but I didn't really like this. I mean, bishop c3, bc3, for example, rook b8, and that's it. There's no attack, it's a draw. And I didn't want that. I want a little bit of a fight, at least a little bit of a fight. So she made a mistake here now, because I can take the bishop, and after she takes back, I can actually play bishop h3. I didn't see that. I missed that. I missed that because now after queen d6, apparently here, just bishop f4, and you're not even worried about e5 because you can just take the rook, and that's it. And if queen d7 back, for example, now e4. So yeah, I mean, I didn't see that. Obviously a rapid game, so I went queen b3, and you know, I saw this, but I was like, okay, I have pressure. Queen d7 best move. Why? Well, I can go for the pawn, okay? Like I can go for the pawn, okay? Like knight takes. But here the thing is, she can just take. She can just take, and I didn't see a way for, like, for example, like, okay, let's say rook f to d1, lining this up. I didn't see a way. Like, for example, bishop c5. It's not like I have check, because she just takes, right? And okay, takes doesn't work, because here there's simply bishop e6, and I'm down a piece. Obviously, I have to take, right? So now this is the opposite color bishops. This is equal. I cannot win this. I cannot possibly win this. So I didn't go for this. Obviously, I went f4. Now h6, and you know, h6 basically forces me to take. But here she had, you know, just I mean, she didn't see the move. She you know, went partially blind. She played rook c4, completely blundering the game. And obviously, finally, I capitalized on it. Like, okay, rapid chess, this and that, but finally I capitalized on it. f5, best move. And the thing is, bishop takes f5 is pretty much forced. And here I also see a very nice variation. Rook takes, queen takes, and now knight takes. And after rook takes, here you take the rook, and you're completely winning. Like, you take the rook, and now you're completely winning. Like, this rook is under attack, and if you try to defend, like, let's say rook to d3, now simply you take the bishop, and if rook a5, you simply take the bishop, because after takes, you simply deliver check, and you pick up the rook. But obviously, I forgot about the check, and after rook a5, sorry, let's go back to the variation a little bit. After rook a5, I didn't see what to do. I had b4. I had so many options. How did I not see anything here? That was just bad. And here I took the other rook, and now it's a draw, because rook b4, queen c3, bishop e6, bishop g2, rook c4, queen e3, and she goes back. And now I'm winning again. Oh my god. How? Well, d5, bishop g4, queen f4, queen takes. Queen f4 was another try, you know, to put pressure, and I thought about it, but I didn't really like the counterplay with the rook c2 here. Like, for example, this queen e2, I didn't want to stop to analyze everything in a rapid game. Like here, for example, I cannot even go for check because she blocks with the bishop, but here apparently rook f2, and I'm just good, because this is no draw because I block with the bishop, and here this is no draw because the bishops are of the same color, and I'm up a pawn. No, I'm not up a pawn, but that's a passed pawn at the end of the day, and it's almost like as if I'm up a pawn. But I failed to realize that this endgame was winning, so I took, and I decided to keep rooks on the board so that I can, you know, at least draw the game. Now bishop e6 I obviously saw, but she went king g7. The thing is, bishop e6, you know, you just take the pawn. Also I attacked this pawn, so maybe I wanted to get something out of it. And the thing is, here I am still much better because I have bishop c6, but obviously I didn't find that move, and I played king f2. But luckily for me, I finally get my first win because she flags. But this is just a flat out draw. We played it through, and we found out it was a draw all along. Like, there were some chances for her to, you know, maybe screw the position up, but it was just a draw. And at the end of the day, I was pretty disappointed with my performance in this game. But you know, in the other games, it was pretty okay. Clearly, I have a lot to improve on, but that's what these games are for. So hope you enjoyed this this video. See you on the next one. Kowalsky out.